Hi everybody, welcome to the channel once again. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here on Esosu Gaming, ready for some Magic the Gathering pack opening, right? So thank you very much for watching, your support is greatly appreciated, and in case you don't know, we have a new expansion, a new series, a new set coming out, I think that's the right term, which is Crazed Vow. It's still in Innistrad, the internal road or the internal path, the internal journey, and it was about the midnight hunt, more external desires, getting lost into some external desires. Now it's the Crazed Vow, where you make a vow to your own blood, so it's internal desires, okay, in any way, shape and form. And let's see what new cards we can get. I still got my hands in some Midnight Hunt as well and some Strixhaven, but those will be for the next episode, okay? Let's preview, let's open, let's review, let's see what we can get on the new packs, and I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings and emotions and a whole bunch of individuality and creativity so you can maintain your sanity. And remember to join our Discord on the description below, where you can join us, me and the other members, to chat and play about Pokemon, about Magic, about whatever games do you like. You can play with me. If we are currently playing online those games, you can join in and play with us with no problem, alright? So huge shout out to Soul Group, huge shout out to Daria as well, huge shout out to Uriel, and let's get started, alright? So let's go. First pack. Place me those aside. Oh, let's go. Oh, we still have those arts, those cool arts in cards. I didn't expect that to change. Whoa, I like this. It's like a burning house. No, it's like a hellish minotaur, hellish bull. Let's see what this is about. What's the name of it? Fire spawn. A fire spawn. Okay, really cool. Let's leave that over there. Then we have a beautiful mountain. I still really enjoy those arts. We got Reckless Impulse. Nice, really reckless. A 1 generic, 1 red sorcery. Exile the 2 top cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Interesting. So you only pay 2 for 2 cards. This card is really good. A teacher looks at their creation and sees the result of years of study and hours of toil. A devil sees a new plaything. So the devils can also be stitchers. Stitchers, they create a synthetic life, you know. That's a really cool spell. Then we have Ancestral Anger. 1 red sorcery. Target creature gains trample and gets +X+0 until the end of the turn, where X is 1 plus the number of cards named Ancestral Anger in your graveyard, and draw a card. 1 vampire for every family member I've lost. Damn. That's been building up, that anger. Then we have Bloody Betrayal. 2 generic, 1 red sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. Create a blood token. It's an artifact with pay 1 and tap it. Discard a card. Sacrifice this artifact. Draw a card. Okay, to give some fluidity to your deck. Oh, I like that art, that uncommon. Dread Fugue. 1 black sorcery. Cleave. 2 generic. You have to pay 2 generic, right? And 1 swamp, and you may cast this spell for its cleave cost. If you do, remove the words in square brackets. Interesting. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, with many value 2 or less. That player discard that card. So if we pay the cleave price, it, it doesn't need to be the value 2 or less. So any card can be discarded by our opponent. I like that. Let's be careful with these cards here. I do like them to be in a solid mound, you know. Another uncommon, honeymoon hears. I've never seen that word in my life before, so I don't know how to pronunciate that. But it's a 2 generic and 1 red vehicle. It's a vehicle, so we need to crew it. Trample. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Honeymoon Hears becomes an artifact creature until the end of the turn. So you need... No, it's not crew. It's like you use your creatures to pull the Hears. A carriage crafted from the finest materials. Horses bred from the finest stock. Skulls taken from the finest foes. Hey, it's a 5/5. It's powerful. Can we No? Sometimes I miss the transformation symbols over there. Oh, come on. Get yourself together, cards. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, it's too much into the light. Hold on. Perfect. So you guys can keep watching. Then we have Groom's Finery. 1 generic and 1 black for an equipment artifact. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. It gets an additional +0/+2 and has death touch as long as an equipment name Bride's Gone is attached to a creature you control. So you need both. This is like where the husband has its pretty dress, because it's Chrisman vow. You are compromising with your internal desires, with your blood desires. Oh, and we have right away the Bride's Goon. Or something, right? 1 generic and 1 white for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. It gets an additional +0/+2 and has first strike as long as an equipment named Groom's Finery is attached to a creature you control. You need to pay 2 to equip. So we got that combo over there, really cool. Then we have Catapult Father. It's a 2 generic, 1 swamp creature zombie. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures that each have toughness greater than 10 power, transform Capsule Fodder. Okay. These days, ghouls are the only abundant resource in Thraben. Okay. And then it transforms to Catapult Captain. Oh, it's like it transforms into 1. It's a creature zombie. You can pay 2 swamps and tap it. Sacrifice another creature. Target opponent lose life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. And they are more than happy to share the wealth. Let's go. Then we have Twin Blade Geist. 1 generic, 1 white for a spirit warrior creature. It has double strike. It has Disturb. If you pay 2 generic and 1 white, you can cast it from the graveyard. Transform. She faced down a whole pack alone, saving her town at the cost of her life. Whoa. Twin Blade Invocation. It's an enchantment. And an aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has double strike. If Twin Blade Invocation will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Since her passing, many more travelers have made it home alive. Real shit. She's protecting thoughts and feelings from animalistic thoughts and feelings. Because that feeling learned how to control herself. Oh, we have a rare one. Glorious Sunrise. 3 generic and 2 green. Enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn. Target land gains tap and then 3 green mana until end of turn. Draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater. You gain 3 life. You can choose that. And that's Vadrik, an astrologer. That's like a witch from the forest, the representation of the 4th chakra, of the heart chakra, of the heart space. Then that's the other one, maybe the leader of the Cathars or something, because they represent the lighter, more clear thoughts. And those, they were trying to stop the werewolves' plan to make the night longer than the day. So it's the glorious sunrise because they made it. They got the lunar silver key into the gold, into the sun gold keyhole, and that made the balance come back. And it's very funny because now we are in Scorpio season. The Innistrad Midnight Hunt came when fall started. It's when the days start to get shorter and nights getting longer. Okay, so we pass from Libra season to Scorpio season, then to Sag season, and then it's winter, right? So the lower desires, the freaks come out at night, the ghouls, the vampires, the werewolves come out at night because they have some weird desires that they don't want to be seen, they want to show that, they want to be hiding. But for example, werewolves and vampires, they can pass their powers, they can pass their lower desires, feelings and thoughts to others by biting them, right? By binding them, right? So here they are conquering the night, they are bringing clarity and lightness to some lower desires. With astrology, with the heart connection and some discipline. If that girl, because I don't know the full story yet, I only know through the cards that have been coming out, because I think she's the leader of the Cathars, which they are more like white, they are more organized, they defend the towns, so they protect the higher thoughts from the lower thoughts. It's some rules, some discipline, some principles, some morality. Then we have another rare one, Inspired Idea. 2 generic and 1 blue for a sorcery with cleave. Oh, but that's a bit expensive cleave. 3 generic and 2 blue. Draw 3 cards, and then if you pay the cleave price, your maximum hand size is reduced by 3 for the rest of the game. So your maximum hand size. Because if you cleave, you lose that. Okay, so that okay, I see. Stitching is an ever-evolving field, with each new advancement reaching a new height of horror. God damn! And those are our rare ones. Alright, and then we have every Friday night magic. Awesome. Let's go for next pack. Oh, come on. I have a bit big of a nail. Not especially, but it also helps doing this. So we can do it. Let's go. Oh, it's done. Careful. Yeah, that's a good way to protect the cards from the table, right? Let's go. We have a beautiful art. It is named Dorothea the Vengeful Victim. She's getting some revenge. Ooh, beautiful swamp. Look at that. That purple around the black. Somebody living on the swamp. I love this style. I'm introducing these. I'm placing these cards, these manas, to all of my decks. They're really cool. I love it. Maybe because I have my Taurus Moon in the 8th house. I really feel comfortable in with more darker art pieces. Dark is in color in itself, not in theme. Ceremonial knife for some rituals and spells. So it's a 1 generic artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and as whenever this creature deals combat damage, create a blood token. It's an artifact with pay 1 and tap it, discard a card, sacrifice this artifact to a card, and you have to pay 2 to equip that card. This card. Okay? Blood Servitor. So they have some... The vampires created some weird artifacts. Over here you can see they created something to serve blood. Okay. Oh, because it's the wedding, right? So everything needs to be pretty. That's funny. 3 generic for an artifact creature, it's a construct. When Blood Servitor enters the battlefield, create a blood token. You already know what it is. Please, my friends, help yourselves to the help. Olivia Voldaren. Oh, there is some cards that is like Olivia's Betrayal. I remember that. Or Olivia's Midnight Ambush. So the wedding is all an ambush? The wedding is all a plan for something? Bleed Dry. 2 generic and 2 black for an instant. Target creature gets -13, -13 until end of turn. If that creature will die this turn, exile it instead. Whoa! Wipe your chin, child. We can't have Olivia thinking we are uncivilized. Ah, okay. Because they can't resist the hunger for some blood. But they want to put an image, because they are not civilized. They consume others' blood, they get into others' emotional affairs, they get into others' privacies, but they want to look civilized. Oh, I like this art a lot. Gift of Fangs. 1 black for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a vampire. Otherwise, it gets -2/-2. If you are one of the few to whom we offer you our blessing, what fool will reject immortality? Oh, I like that art. That goes for the art pile, which I enjoy the art a lot. So they are offering immortality. I feel I'm playing Skyrim right now. Wash Away. 1 blue for an instant. Cleave. You have to pay 1 generic and 2 blue to retrieve, to eliminate the words between brackets. Counter target spell that wasn't cast from its owner hand. So if you pay the cleave, you can do that. Maybe the ocean take it. May the ocean take it. Oh, the Nephalia expression meaning good riddance. Ah, and what is that? Oh, it was a Stitch, a creature that we got in a card earlier. Let me see if they look alike. It looks like it, but I think it's not the same. Look at here. That one looks like that one. Right? Or maybe not. I don't know. I have to read the lore. Let's continue. Then we have Storm Chaser Drake. 1 generic and 1 blue for a Drake flying. Whenever Storm Chaser Drake becomes the target of a spell you control, draw a card. Blasted Drakes interfering with the conductivity again. Garl, go chase it away. Ludovic, Necro Alchemist. They need the power, but the Drake goes after it. Oh, Voltaic Visionary. This is a lot about of electricity, representing the primary force of creation, that spark, that electricity, the change of energy that we all have inside of ourselves, right? And that can represent the desire as well, because sometimes the desires, they are a spark, they are a whim, you can't control it, but you can if you have spiritual discipline, if you know what's right for yourself. But sometimes some people can't help themselves because that spark is too fast or is too intense. Voltaic Visionary, 1 generic and 1 red for a human wizard. You can tap it and Voltaic Visionary deals 2 damage to you. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. When you play a card exiled with Voltaic Visionary, transform Voltaic Visionary. She spent many years trying to harness chaos. She's doing some rituals and spells. Volt Charged Berserker, a human berserker. Volt Charge Berserker can't block. She finally realized that Chaos was meant to run rampant, as was she. It's Chaos, you can't control it. The Shadow Government and many lost spirits, they want to make order out of chaos. And you can make order out of chaos, but you can't control chaos. You have to leave space for chaos, for change, for waves, for cycles, for transformation. You can't control it. You can't live forever. Some things happen that you cannot understand. You get a feeling, your spirit knows it, but your conscious does not, because that's supposed to be in that way. Because you have to learn, you have to experience not knowing until you get strong enough to support yourself, and then you know it. It's not go happy-go-lucky because you don't know it. No, it's we don't know it, let's create forms to know it. If you know what I'm saying? It's not fearing chaos. It's not fearing the unknown. It's accepting it and making it known, but not controlling it. You can't control chaos. You can make order out of chaos, but you can't control chaos. Then we have Wolfkin Outcast. A 5 generic and 1 green for a human werewolf. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a wolf or werewolf. It has daybound, so it becomes day when he enters. The villagers feared him. The Cathars scorned him. Only in the wilds did he find a family that accepted him, which is more wolves. Wedding Crusher. Ah, awesome! Werewolf. Whenever Wedding Crusher or another wolf or werewolf you control dies, draw a card. It has nightbound, so it becomes night if nobody plays a spell. He raged not just against vampires, but against civilization itself. Vampires are not civilized, mate. They try to appear to be. And that card goes to the cool one, to the cool pack. Ooh, I like the colors. Blood Feet Harvester. 1 black and 1 red for a vampire. When Blood Feet Harvester enters the battlefield, create a blood token. Sacrifice, tap it, and sacrifice Blood Feet Harvester. Target creature gets minus X until end of turn, where X is twice the number of blood tokens you control. Activate only as a sorcery. And I like this, where the toughness and power are. It's really cool. Then we got our rare one. Ascendant Pack Leader. It's a green one. It's a wolf. Ascendant Pack Leader enters the battlefield with a +1/+ counter on it if you control a permanent with mana value 4 or greater. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Ascendant Pack Leader. That can get really big. Then we have a shiny one. Perish Blade Trainee. A 1 generic, 1 white for a human soldier. Training. Whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When Perish Blade Trainee dies, put these counters on target creature you control. Awesome! The recruits trained in an eternal night, fueled by the hope that they might one day see the sun again. So it became night along the way. It became night for the whole... Maybe the wedding was about that? Maybe the wedding was a huge ritual and spell to bring the night, to bring the chaos back? I don't know. Let me drink some water, y'all. Let's go for the next pack. Oh, this one belongs here, and you can go to there. Let's go. Let's get it. Yosh. Ooh, we have that card. It's the Groom's Finery. It looks better on this card. Then we have a Dark Plane. a pyre spawn. We got that art as well. 4 generic and 2 red for an elemental. When pyre spawn dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. Memories of the Harvest Side tragedy festered until they grew into an incarnate rage that set the world ablaze. No way! So, on Innistrad Midnight Hunt, there was that festival, right? It was like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and many werewolves infiltrated it and they turned the place down. And I think the wedding is the same thing, but it's more private because it's vampires, it's more blood, it's more feminine, it's more internal. The Harvest Tide. I remember those cards, yeah. I have Harvest Tide Infiltrator and things like that. So it was a very impactful moment on that plane, on that creature. Interesting. And it transformed into a being. Reckless Impulse, we already have that one. We already have the Ancestral Anger as well. We already have the Bloody Betrayal as well. But we don't have the Magma Pummeler X generic and 2 red for an elemental. Magma Plumber enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If damage will be dealt to Magma Pummeler while it has a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters from it. When 1 or more counters are removed from Magma Pummeler, this way it deals that much damage to any target. Amazing red cards here. Frenzied Devils. 4 generic and 1 red for a devil. Haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Frenzied Devils get +2/+2 until the end of the turn. Devils need no reason to stir up chaos. The chaos itself is their reward. Soul Cipher Board. Interesting. 1 generic and 1 blue. Soul Cipher Board enters the battlefield with 3 Omen counters on it. Pay 1 generic and 1 blue and tap it. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your graveyard. Whenever a creature card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, remove an Omen counter from Soul Cipher Board. Then if it has no Omen counters on it, transform it into Cipherbound Spirit. Yeah, the board, it's used to attract and to trap spirits in it. Flying. Cipherbound Spirit can block only creatures with flying. Pay 3 and 1 blue, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Rather than consort with demons, the quietest cult seek wisdom from the dead. Yeah, I was thinking about it. That we have green and red with werewolves, vampires, and then the blues and reds have devils, and they're all mixtured in some confusion. The blues are like more separated, doing the stitching, doing some rituals and spells, manipulating something, learning from themselves on their own. They're not participating in the harvest time. They're not participating in the wedding. They're just doing some weird shit by themselves, you know? Oi. Then we have Blood Crazed Socialite. 3 generic and 1 black for a vampire with menace. It can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. When Blood Crazed Socialite enters the battlefield, create a blood token. Whenever Blood Crazed Socialite attacks, you may sacrifice a blood token. If you do, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Hey, that's a very good one. That's a very good one. Then we have Voldaren Epicure. When Voldaren Epicure, it's just 1 red. I like the art around it. When Voldaren Epicure enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and create a blood token. Ooh, we got a rare one. Concealing Curtains. 1 black for a wall. Defender. Pay 2 generic and 1 black. Transform Concealing Curtains. Activate only as a sorcery. Specifics were kept secret, but word quickly spread that the show was a must-see. Transforms into Revealing Eye. Eye Horror. Menace. When this creature transforms into revealing eye, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card, then draws a card. Okay, that's our rare one. Then we have a Blood Crazer Socialite. It's a shiny one. So we already have that one, but on a better art. It's that one. Not better, but different, more personalized. Because that one is actually better, but this one is like more personal. Right? There's a different, but it's a shiny one. Release the dogs. Who let the dogs out, huh? 3 generic and 1 white. Sorcery. Create 4 1/1 white dog creature tokens. They charge into battle and out for their morning walk with the same exuberance. Haha, that's funny because that's very true. Doggos are always happy to run. Doggos are always happy to run some miles. And let's go for the last pack of today's episode. I'm enjoying a lot these new cards. I also like Innistrad the Midnight Hunt, but they are more awesome. They are more like spectacular. But these ones are better in general, are more comfortable, are more pretty and beautiful. The other ones are more awesome and spectacular, like I already said. Ooh, I like that art a lot. It is Sigarda's imprisonment. An angel was imprisoned in the wedding. So the angel came down to kill some vampires. The higher thought came down to kill the lower thoughts, but he got trapped in the lower desires. Damn, those vampires are powerful. Those lower... That bitch really looked like a good snack, and now you can't get your mind out of that. Be careful out there, y'all. Be careful out there. Then we have a scary island. And it's a shipwreckage, actually. And the festivities. 1 red sorcery. And the festivities deal 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. When the defenses around Lurenbrom Fortress faltered, the Crismon Ballroom received some unexpected guests. So dogs went into... Yeah, and that's the thing, because like Hollywood and the mainstream, which Magic is a bit about the mainstream, they always put werewolves fighting vampires. But they're the same thing. But werewolves are external lower desires, and being a vampire is being lost on internal, more private internal lower desires. So that's just a way for them to make people fight each other, I guess, because it's the same thing, but it's our dogs. Those are not werewolves. Those are dogs tamed, domesticated by people, quote-unquote normal people, which are higher thoughts. So that's different, okay? But I just remember that. Lacerate Flesh. 4 generic and 1 red for a sorcery. Lacerate Flesh deals 4 damage to target creature. Create a number of blood tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature. That's interesting. Flame Blessed Bolt. 1 red for an instant. Flame Blessed Bolt deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker will die this turn, exile it instead. Cool. I noticed you were short on party favors, so I brought my own. Higa, Slayer Captain of Gustaf. That seems like either it's a Cathar or an angel. Another Pyre Spawn. Memories of the Harvest Side Tragedy feasted until they grew into festered until they grew into an incarnate rage that set the world ablaze. Whoa, that's some deep shit. You see how the lower desires can destroy a person? Olenbok Escort. Creature, human cleric. You pay 1 white. It has vigilance, so when it attacks, it does not tap. Sacrifice Olenbok Escort. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains lifelink and indestructible until end of the turn. Oh, that's very good. Stay in the light. No, stay in the light. I don't know what lurks in those shadows. I'd like to keep it that way. See? She knows. She doesn't need to force it. Sea Guardian Paladin. 2 generic, 1 green and 1 white for a human knight. As long as you have put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature this turn, Sea Guardian Paladin has trample and lifelink. And you can pay 1 generic, 1 green and 1 white. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains trample and lifelink until the end of the turn. Oh, I like it. Because we have some cards about that, about giving counters to other creatures. Then we have an uncommon, 2 generic, 1 red, Alluring Suitor. It's a vampire. When you attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform Alluring Suitor. May I have this dance? Oh, they're always manipulating those vampires. They're always showing something that is not real. That's really lower internal lower desires. The werewolves are more external. They don't care if others see it or not. Sometimes they want to show it. Dreadly Dancer. It's a vampire with trample. When this creature transforms into Deadly Dancer, add 2 red manas. Until the end of the turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. You can pay 2 red mana, Deadly Dancer, and another target creature. Each get +1/+0 until the end of the turn. She died? Yes, she did. Yeah, vampires are more about luring, attracting, and werewolves are more about going after, hunting, expressing. So that's masculine, and vampires are internal, but they're all spirits, minds, feelings lost on lower desires and some destructive shit, and they can pass it to others. Unholy Officiant. You can pay 1 white for the vampire cleric. Unholy because it's unholy. Vigilance. Pay 4 generic and 1 white, put a +1/+1 counter on Unholy Officiant. That's an expensive +1/+1 counter. Blood Petal Celebrant. You pay 1 generic and 1 red for the vampire. Blood Petal Celebrant has first strike as long as it's attacking. When Blood Petal Celebrant dies, create a blood token. Oh, we got a red one, but a lot about blood tokens. I don't see very much huge use in it unless you have a certain magic card that say use X number of blood tokens to do something, because the blood tokens in itself, I mean, they're good for fluidity, to make your deck flow, right? We got the red one, Consuming Tide. 2 generic and 2 blue for a sorcery. Each player chooses a non-land permanent they control. Return all non-land permanents not chosen this way to their opponent's end. Then you draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you. Nefarious Tides obey an unforgiving moon. That's powerful. Then we have a shiny Doom Dissenter. 1 generic and 1 black. Human. When Doom Dissenter dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. The most dangerous place to be in Kessig is alone. So I see with the expansions coming in Astrad, it changed. It's like time went over, right? So the Harvest side from Thanksgiving, from Halloween, already happened, and it went bad, it was crazy, and now the vampires are up to some shit. And then we have, last but not least, Briannaline the Mooncracker. You have to pay 6 generic and 2 blue for the legendary creature Kraken. When Briannaline the Mooncracker enters the battlefield, or whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, you may return target non-land permanent to its owner hand. So, when you cast a spell with 6 or greater, you may return target's non-land permanent to its own land. I mean, it's cool, but you already need to pay 8 plus 6. You need a really powerful Vadric on your field. Partner. You can have 2 commanders if both have partner. Yeah, this is a commander, that's true. Okay, so we are done by the day. Oops, let's check the ones that I enjoyed the most personally. I enjoyed this art, very cool, from the gift of Fangs. It's really, really cool because it's the queen giving her fluid, her emotions, her feelings, and her dreams and her illusions to some servants. Because when a vampire bites you, when a manipulative, a narcissist, an energetic vampire bites you, it's not because they like you, it's because they want you to serve a certain purpose that they only themselves know. And sometimes because vampire is a more internal, lower desire, they might not be aware of it. They just react, they just respond, they just feel, they just desire it. Until they fulfill that desire, they will gaslight you, they will talk your ears off, they'll make you feel connected to them, but they are draining your energy by exhausting you, by making you process their flunked out emotions. And then they'll be like, you are one of the few to whom we offer our blessing. What fool will reject immortality? Bitch, I want to live forever, special around you. Then I like the Wolfkin Outcast because I'm an Aquarius sun myself. I feel like an outcast sometimes, and I like this text here. He raged not just against vampires, but against civilization himself. Bitch, full of people that do not understand special cases. Full of people that pretend they are civilized. Like that vampire card we're getting. So we have Inspired Idea as a rare one and shiny. We got Glorious Sunrise as a rare one. We got Ascendant Pack Leader. Beautiful art, by the way. Beautiful art. We got as well Perish Blade Trainee. Oh, that's a shiny one. It's not a rare one. Okay. Then we got another rare one, Concealing Curtains, that if you pay 2 generic and 1 black, it transforms into Revealing Eye. And then we have another shiny, Blood Crazed Socialite, and we have Consuming Tide as a rare one as well. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember to check other content on the channel. Remember to check the link in the description below so you can join our Discord. Until the next episode where I will bring more Magic the Gathering pack openings. I see you soon. I wish you the best and take care of yourself. Bye!